So there is no way to plot Tesla's stock price over the next 6 months like any normal company. I think you already believe that, but like for instance, NVIDIA, you have basically three divisions. They're all kind of related. No new products coming. They're sold out. How many can they ship? That's the question. Apple, they'll revise, they'll come out with their, iPhone 15, I think it is, coming up in the fall. And it'll be all about, are there any major changes? And, it'll be a plus or minus 5% or something like that. But with Tesla, it's Cybertruck, FSD, Highland, Gigamex, factory ramps, and the macro will play huge. And it's almost impossible to know what to expect from any and all of these moving pieces because any one of them can impact, and you don't know when they're going to come out. So I have at the end, I'm going to give you a concluding number, a concluding idea of how I see the next 5 months. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about that in the comments below. Now, this is Randy Kirk. And if you like this kind of content, if this is useful to you in terms of how you analyze the overall market, of course, it should never be investment advice. It should be something that you use is Randy Kirk, a little bit of experience, a little bit of education, a little bit of background, manufacturing capability, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe I have a couple of ideas that might be useful, but that's it. And then do your own homework. Anyway, tonight, I'll give you the good news show in just a few hours here, the good news show. But Larry won't be joining me tonight, and I will talk all about what happened today with the Fed. I'll talk about what happened with the stock market and how Tesla became disconnected from the rest of the markets today and why. And then the reason Larry won't be with me tonight is because he'll be with me tomorrow morning, because tonight Cathie Wood gives her monthly analysis. Larry and I will look at Cathie's analysis. We will also talk about the Fed and what happened, what's coming up next week, like the PCE, et cetera. And we'll just kind of discuss where things are in general. Yes, I know I wave my hands a lot, don't I? I'm told that actually helps people to stay attentive. I don't know, but I can't stop myself. Anyway, all right. So that's what's coming up. Let's now get into the meat here. Okay, we start with the basic underlying business. We've been modeling that forever. Auto sales and margins will continue to dominate, even though energy and services will be creeping up in importance. So I'm going to look at auto sales and energy, period. Okay, not going to look at any of those other things. I'm going to say, let's say, what happens if for some reason they don't ship? They don't ship any Cybertrucks. Something happens, they can't get started. The Highland is still not out. Or at the end of the year, still nothing. Okay, so I want to take a look at it, and just with the basics, Tesla will ship. This is my opinion. This is my belief, strong belief, that Tesla will ship 1 million cars in the second half. It might be 450 in the third quarter, 550 in the fourth. It might be 500 in the third quarter. I think that's more likely, and 500 in the fourth quarter, but it's going to be around 1 million between the two. Now, that'll matter to the stock market in the third quarter earnings call, et cetera. But overall, by January 2nd, when the numbers are announced for the full year, it won't matter. Okay, one way or the other, we're going to ship 1 million before the end of the year. Now, I believe Elon when he said that the third quarter will be soft in production. So let's call it 440, 450. But then the improvements will kick in and we'll make 560 in the fourth quarter. So there's your 1 million in terms of production. Inventories will fluctuate around the current levels. I personally think that we will eat inventory in quarter three and then build back to current levels by the year end. So anyway, that's why I come out with my best guess at being around 500,000 in shipments, third and fourth. It could be 490 and 510. It could be 48 and 520. But it's going to be around that for a total of 1 million. Now, of course, the ASP, the average selling price, will also matter. We could see more price cuts. I don't think there is going to be any meaningful price cuts. We would have already seen them. I don't think that's going to happen. And overall, for the second half, way more Model Ys will be shipped. So that will be increasing the ASP because they sell for more than the Model 3, which is the other bulk of the shipments that we have. Margins will be improving dramatically due to the list of reasons you've heard me repeat over and over again, but let me run through them. Ramp cost improvement. With the more that we make of the Model Y in Austin and Berlin, the cost goes down. Number two, ongoing improvements. They're always improving. They're always trying to figure out new ways to do things better. We know that there's these upgrades also coming. So upgrade improvements, in addition to the normal improvements, battery price reductions, commodity prices lower, and a higher mix of Model Y will all contribute to greater margins. Okay. So once again, looking at an improvement in margins in quarter three and even more improvements in quarter four, I'm going to say average of 20% for the second half of the year. Now let me share my screen. All right, we're going to share screen here. This is always fun. I always mess this up about 3 different ways, but let me go to here. All right, here we go. So third quarter, is this as high as it goes? No, here we go. All right, so third quarter, I'm saying 450 ship. Fourth quarter, 550 ship. Average selling cost, 46,002, slightly above quarter two, 46.7 in the quarter four. I'm saying margins, 19% in the third quarter and going all the way up to 20%, 21% in the fourth quarter. Again, lots of these savings will be pouring through the system. That gives us a total auto gross profit of 4.0 and 5.4. Energy profit going up slightly from 0.3 to 0.5 and then to 0.7. Other profit from services, etc., going up 0.5 to 0.6. This gives us a total profit. You can see it here of 5 and then 6.7. Overhead, I'm saying, goes down a little bit in the third quarter because there's a big bump because of a lot of contribution from R&D, I believe it was, in some other things in the second quarter. Saying it comes down a little bit and then goes back up as we increase total sales. GAAP 4.5, I'm sorry, 3 and 4.5, earnings per share 0.86 and 1.3. This 1.3 is the number to concentrate on because you see that would give us, if you just multiply that times 4 to give you full year 24, it gives you $5.20. That's about where the bulls are for next year, is 520. All right, it's going to be way over that. Because as you can see, that's just the normal business. It doesn't include increases, dramatic increases in the energy storage profits. It doesn't include the Cybertruck ramp. It doesn't include Model Y continuing to ramp. So the 520 is a joke, okay? And that's where most people are modeling for next year. All right, so this gives us a $3.48 after tax. And usually they take before tax, so that'd be 387. Anyway, in either case, you can see that this would definitely justify, especially the 520 for next year would really, totally justify the 350 price point. All right, so let's go back to the rest of the conversation here. I'm sorry, I have to stop sharing. That's what I want to do. All right, so. Oh man, I can't find my way around this thing. I'm very sorry. Here we go. All right. So what I want to show now is that even if Tesla is unable to launch the Cybertruck or the Highland or FSD or anything else by year end, we can get to $300 and more. Next, we need to look at the market narrative, the macro. My claim is that there has been, and they will continue to be, an effect of 50% of the Tesla price fluctuation comes from the macro. Now, that's not the multiple. That's not the beta. That doesn't mean Tesla moving twice as much or 3 times as much or even 4 times as much as the rest of the market on any given day. That has to do with options and the fact that it's a highly traded stock and a highly optioned stock. No, I'm talking about the fact that the macro has its own effect on Tesla's shares. Now, we know that's true. The macro has an effect on everybody's shares. That's why we see massive changes in what the stock market sells for. We have bears and bulls, and sometimes they have nothing to do other than the narrative that's going on in the heads of the traders. So as the risk money comes back into the marketplace, we're going to see the market go up in general. And so I'm saying that is going to be representing another piece of why Tesla can get to 350 by the end of the year and to all-time highs in January. the market sentiment, okay? It is possible for Tesla to move outside the other indices and or its peers like it did today. Okay, I would expect more of that coming up. We had that 3 weeks ago when the market was starting to feel good about inflation and feel good about interest rates. But then when all that started to raise its head again, all of a sudden, no, Tesla started to move like the indices again. I expect the bull market to help Tesla about double what it would get from just improvements in the fundamentals. So from here to 300, well, we only need to have the street believe that the improving profit picture is worth $30. And then the market macro bull will give us another $30. That gets me to 300, okay? Now, are you with me so far? Does that make sense? Okay, now we can add to this the new stuff. Cybertruck, unless it totally bombs. Is it worth, it's got to be worth at least $35 a share, right? Right? The Highland, if it's under $30,000 in China, it's worth at least another $15. Are you with me on that? So now that gets us to 350. Now, either one of those or both of them could be a massive success right from the event day. And the Cybertruck can ride the story for weeks and weeks with different stages of the introduction. First, the handovers, then the first customer delivers, then the ramp figures or estimates, the pricing, the stats, the reviews, and more. And that's where we start heading into the all-time high of 410 by January. Now, you need execution, you need the two new products, you need the margins, and you need the macro. But I believe we are easily, assuming that those two products do well, we're easily at 410 by the time we finish the earnings report in January and maybe before. Now, of course, this is not investment advice. It could be much higher with just this combination. Now, imagine what happens if you add an FSD being solved, or maybe AI Day 3 happens and DOJO as a service is introduced, or Optimus is revealed and it's ready for customer reservations. I mean, who knows where we go from there. So that's my theory for the rest of this year right now, based on what I see. I believe we're in a bull market. I believe Tesla will benefit from the bull market. I believe Tesla will benefit from the fact that it does have earnings growth in its future. I believe Tesla will benefit from the two new product introductions. And then there's all the extra that could possibly happen. All-time highs. I've been saying this for a long time. We will see 300 again before the end of the year, maybe even as early as a week from Monday. That's a whole nother story. How does it get there by a week from Monday? The PCE is outstanding. Could get to 300 just by the PCE on Thursday being outstanding. I mean, how hard is it for Tesla to move 60 points? Doesn't take much. And we were at 300 just a few weeks ago. So if we were at 300 a few weeks ago and the bull is back on, there is absolutely nothing to keep Tesla from going right back to 300. And it could happen as early as a week from Monday. That's not my guess. I'm just saying it could happen, and it could happen very shortly thereafter. All right. If you didn't watch my After the Bell episode from earlier today, I guess I turned out to be right. So you might want to go back and look at that, look at the analysis there. I think it's an important analysis. I have Siri talking to me over here. I don't know how to stop her. So I don't know what caused Siri to start talking. Anyway, so if you want to watch that, I'm putting a card right up here. Go back and take a look at that. The market sees the Fed statement as neutral, even as a little bit bullish on the economy. And now we wait for PCE day next Thursday. Again, take a look at what I had to say this morning. Then for sure, hit like, hit subscribe, and hit notify if you want to be sure to hear me tonight with regard to the week in review. And then Larry and I tomorrow morning talking about Cathie Wood, talking about the week in review, talking about the week coming up. You never want to miss a show that has Larry Goldberg on it. Believe me, he's always got so many gems in everything that we talk about. So there you go. That is all I've got for you this afternoon. And I am just about to tell you that it has been great talking to you.